Welcome back to World Crisis Radio. This is Webster Tarpley reporting to you from Washington, D.C., and we are once more lucky to be able to go to our observer in Athens, Greece. This is the unbeatable Michael Chiotinis, who has called all of the main turning points in this crisis correctly. That is to say, the Greek government against the Troika, the International Monetary Fund, the European Central Bank, pardon me, and the European Commission. So this week we had a big event. We had Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras went to Moscow on Wednesday and Thursday. So let's see what we can find out about what happened and what didn't happen in that trip. Michael, welcome.
Hello, Webster. Hello to all your listeners. Now, let me go straight to the point. Some say that the Tsipras trip to Moscow was a ploy for leverage, a sort of, blackmail against the West, having to do with Greece's negotiations with its creditors, the EU and the IMF. And by extension, the U.S. But I don't think that's true. You see, Greek farmers are suffering right now because of Russian counter-sanctions against European countries, including Greece. The problems of Greece are very strong, very serious problems. And the bilateral relations between Greece and Russia have nothing to do with financing the Greek problem or blackmailing the West. The Tsipras visit to Moscow opens a complete new chapter in Greco-Russian relations. Greece is effectively becoming an energy hub. This is an economic but also a political upgrade for Greece. And it shows that Greece is an independent country, it can form its own alliances. It can develop relations with any country in the world. And it's not a debt colony. So there's a difference between Greece, Tsipras blackmailing the West, and Tsipras declaring that Greece is an independent country. You see the difference, I hope.
Michael, let's just take this apart a little bit and bore into it. First of all, the Greek agricultural sector and maybe some idea of Greek exports in general right now. But the main idea is that Russia has a food embargo against the European Union. It's a counter-sanction. So what kinds of things does Greece export that are now being interfered with by this?
Agriculture products by 90%. 90% of all exports.
Which ones? Tell us about it.
It's strawberries and those kind of oranges.
I've read peaches. Olives.
Yes, of course. Any of those things.
So it's Mediterranean and fruits.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a big deal, right? There still is quite an agricultural sector. Wine, I suppose, right? Wine?
Yes. It's a huge sector, and it's 90% of all exports from Greece to Russia. And trade between the two countries have declined from last year by 40%. That's a huge thing. The Greek farmers are destroyed effectively. So,
all right. Can we now let's move on to the second point you were making, right? The energy hub. What does that energy hub look like? Are we talking about pipelines? How does it look?
Yes. So the proposed new pipeline is what they call the Greek pipeline. That's Tsipras decided to call it that, as opposed to the Turkish stream. It's an extension to the Turkish stream, and but it's called the Greek pipeline. and it will begin at the Greek border with Turkey, and then at the border with the former Yugoslavic Republic of Macedonia, or Macedonia, as you know. There's a name dispute between Greece and Macedonia over its name, because Macedonia used to be an ancient Greek territory, and in part, the north part of Macedonia is now occupied. Is now what is the country of Macedonia? So
okay, so we of course we remember with our strong classical orientation Philip of Macedonia, his son Alexander the Great. Right, we're not going to forget them. And just to be polite, what is the Greek way to refer to this country there?
The Greek way to refer to this country is former Yugoslavic Republic of Macedonia. So, and we are in negotiations, and Greece is prepared to backtrack and agree on the name North Macedonia. So it's that's the dispute. That's the name dispute.
The other thing we want to bear in mind is that there was an attempted CIA coup against the current leader of that country, Gruevski, and now we see why, because this is a way to go around those turbulent characters in Ukraine, for example, and once it goes from Greece into Macedonia, it could go much further. It could go to Italy, I think somebody was saying. Right? So that would get you, once you're in Italy, you're in the whole Western European gas distribution system.
Yes. So this Greek pipeline will begin at the Greek border with Turkey and enter Macedonia. That will, of course, bypass Ukraine. That's the whole point of it. But it's the need for such pipeline, the need for the Turkish stream, an extension of which is the Greek pipeline, came because the South Stream was cancelled. The South Stream was a proposed pipeline bringing natural gas from Bulgaria, and Bulgaria was the one that suspended this whole project. Also, Papandreou, you all know Papandreou, did everything he could to himself to suspend the project, but the Bulgarians did it first. So that was it. That was the South Stream. It was cancelled. Now, it would have been much preferable for Greece to have the South Stream and not be dependent on Turkey. Right. I don't know what problems could this cause to Greece in regards to Turkey, but right now, to be honest, the government will celebrate even this development,
right?
Because it's eager to have any sort of income and investment in Greek territory. So,
can I just add one thing, Michael? My comment on Tsipras in Moscow is, I hope and I actually believe that Tsipras and Putin would have discussed what's a worst-case scenario, a fallback option, in case Berlin goes crazy and just, go bonkers, and Greece needs to fall back on something. What would it be financially, economically? And I've also had reports in the past that Tsipras had been discussing what to do in the eventuality of a NATO attempt to intervene and interfere in Greek internal affairs. Would there be some kind of moral or other support that Russia might give? I think responsible statesmen would have had to discuss those things simply as options or clouds on the horizon.